1 Million Cups is
Good morning, everybody in the back. We're getting started. If you could please grab your seat. That's why they actually picked me to do this, because I have a big mouth and I have no problem being rude. No. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to 1 Million Cups El Paso, and thank you for coming. Little disappointed this morning. We are having some technical difficulties. Our projector doesn't want to project. But that's okay, because I just came back from Kansas City. And that's why I wasn't here last week. It's only the second 1 Million Cups I've missed. And I've came back totally re-energized, totally jazzed up about what 1 Million Cups is doing. You all here are part of a much bigger movement. There are currently 140 1 Million Cups communities in the U.S. El Paso is one of those. But first, I want to introduce our organizers. If you all could just come to the front real quick, or just start kind of make your way. They're supposed to know that they're already supposed to be at the front when we make that announcement. They're organizers, right? First, we have Serena Harper. Eric Bischoff, who stepped in and covered for me most capably. I told him he should continue because I have a face made for radio and a voice for print, but he didn't want to. We have Ms. Esther Lopez.
Morning, everybody.
We have Nancy Lowry in the back, still trying to finish or fix our technical difficulties. And then I'd like to bring up our media sponsor, Digital Bull and Borderland Creative, and have Omar talk about it a little bit. And they're also one of our organizers, by the way.
Hello everyone, my name is Omar Chavez. I am with Borderland.tv. We are the company that's responsible for doing the live broadcast for this event, and we just wanted to go ahead and ask all of you guys and invite you to go onto your Facebook pages, go onto your phones, and share the live broadcast. You can go to the Hub of Human Innovation's Facebook page, and you will see the live broadcast there, and just go ahead and share it. So people who could not make it today, they could view it, and we can introduce people to this thing. Also, next time, if you're not able to make it here, you can also view this event if you cannot attend in person. We are also currently looking for sponsors. We do get hundreds of views on this live broadcast, so it's definitely very good exposure for your company if you would like to be interested in becoming a sponsor. So yeah, just go ahead and go onto your Facebook page for the Hub of Human Innovation, share this broadcast, and spread the word so we can make this thing grow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So again, welcome everybody. Who's here for the first time? Show of hands, please. Well, welcome. And my name's Ernesto Gamboa. A couple of quick announcements. That's Nancy right there. A couple of quick announcements. This microphone is not for us in here. It's actually for the live stream. I've heard people say, it's not working. It's working for the live stream. That's why I just have to shout. And the presenters, please speak nice and loud. Next, a shout out to our sponsors. The delicious coffee is by Krispy Kreme, but no donuts yet. We get them occasionally. And of course, our venue sponsor, where we are, the Hub of Human Innovation. So what is 1 Million Cups? Again, I'm totally excited. We just came back from the Organizer Summit. It was founded by the Kauffman Foundation as an entrepreneurial showcase. The purpose is entrepreneurial networking and education. Every week we bring in, and again, 140 communities do this every Wednesday. We bring in 2 entrepreneurs to tell their story, their trials, their tribulation, their entrepreneurial journey, and then get valuable feedback from you all, the audience, on their business model, how they can improve, any ideas, things like that. And every entrepreneur that's done this told us that's the real value add. They've gotten such valuable input and feedback from the community that they love it. So again, you're part of something large here. Kauffman is trying to get to 500 communities within the next 18 months. And that's the reason for the name, 1 Million Cups. At some point, we're going to be able to say, and we calculate that we're at about 300,000 cups, that 1 million cups of coffee have been drank throughout the U.S. at discussing entrepreneurship. So that's really cool. Last thing I want to tell you, everybody, this one young lady really motivated me because she got up and she said, you know what I tell people about 1 Million Cups? That it's, excuse my French, the second most badass thing I get to do with my life, because we're building that entrepreneurial ecosystem. So with that, I will bring up our first presenter, 1-1 Co-working Space.
I'm going to try to sit down in this little stool right here.
Okay, we just have a lot of stuff up there.
morning. My name is Enrique Cervantes. We're actually having some technical difficulties with our slideshow, so I guess I'll just tell you a little bit about our journey and how we came about 1-1. I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. Went to Cathedral High School, and then shortly after that went to Texas Christian University, TCU in Fort Worth. Studied business management, fashion merchandise, that double majored in both of those. Come from a family of manufacturing denim here in El Paso, Texas, and in Mexico. So that was kind of my journey in going through school. And my plan was to move back to El Paso and kind of join the family business with the denim industry. Shortly after coming back to El Paso, I've always been a creative, kind of innovative type of guy. So I partnered up with one of my who's still my partner now. His name's Jonathan Escalante. We decided to be promoters. We started doing local club parties, events. At local events, anybody that would kind of host us. We were both very social, young, in the scene type guys. After a couple shows that we started doing, we noticed that our crowds were a little bit bigger than expected. We were selling out clubs, we were selling out venues, so we started booking talent. Shortly after that, our talent got bigger, so we started to push the envelope and see how much bigger our talent can get, doing DJs, acts. Just in that first couple of months that we were doing, we were booking as promoters, we had a show called LMFAO that shortly after that played the Super Bowl at halftime. So that was kind of something that really gave us that push to pursue this career and see where it could take us. In El Paso, there wasn't really anyone doing this at this moment, so it was something that we were having to introduce to the local community as local promoters, as in the scene type guys. So we kind of rode that wave for a couple years, probably about 2 years. Our brand grew, and we really didn't know where to take it from there, but we knew that we wanted to pursue something in the nightlife industry. Shortly after that, we decided that we were going to open up our own brick and mortar. So our crowds grew, our brand grew, and we decided that we were going to finally start our own place, which most people probably thought we were going to do some kind of club, some nightclub type venue. And we decided to open up a little bar here, neighborhood public house on the other side of the stadium. I don't know if you're all familiar with it. It's called Later Later. It's an old house that we took from the 1930s that we tried to keep as much of the character as possible, and while still like trying to obviously convert it into a bar. So we kept all the original pine hardwood floors, the brick. We reused all the slats that were separating the walls to like decorate the walls and whatnot. So that was something that we really came through and was very innovative with. And we're still kind of like the only bar out there besides Blackbird that is in the neighborhood. So it's been kind of an uphill battle for us as well, but it seems like the neighborhood has really embraced it. So here we are a year and a half later after we've opened up our first bar. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's really neat. It's got a lot of character. It's embraced the environment, and it's kind of been that kind of where the city's kind of moving towards and where it's not, you know, kind of that whole what's next for downtown El Paso, I believe. But we've been fortunate enough for the community to really embrace it. So after that, our team began to grow. It was basically me, Johnny, my partner Johnny, and myself working out of Starbucks, out of Villages, out of all local coffee shops, shared folders, trying to like keep up with our work. And our team began to grow. And as our team began to grow, we realized that we needed to find ourselves an office. So as we began our search to find ourselves a space to work and grow our team, we searched all different areas around downtown, and we were really looking for a space that would kind of embrace our creativity and our type of mindset that would really push that forward. We came across the building off of Franklin in Oregon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's basically where Blackbird is and Subway. It's right across the Stewart Title building. Beautiful building, 2-story. It was completely empty. It's about a little bit over 5,000 square feet, which was obviously too big for us. It was completely empty, and it was too big for us. So what we said was we had a partner that was our creative agency, who's Aiden James, who does great work. They were basically our designers, doing all our artwork, doing our branding. So what we did was I said, okay, you know what, how about you guys take half this space and we'll take the other half, and we will rent out this space and we'll work basically out of the same space. As we began to kind of plot our journey to rebrand and recreate this space into our own, we decided that we would invest into the space a little bit more and create a co-working space, which is what's kind of trending around town, and it kind of felt what was best fit for us. So what we did was we created this this co-working space on the second floor of 500 North Oregon, where people can come and co-work and kind of feed off of each other. And it was something that was kind of a new idea in El Paso that most people hadn't really embraced. When we first opened, it was we found ourselves to have the difficulty of people really wanting their privacy with their offices. So that was kind of like the hurdle that we had to overcome. I wish I could really show you guys what it looks like, because it really is impressive. It's on the second floor. It's got beautiful brick surroundings, the high ceilings that were, I believe, was the first Christian church in El Paso. It's kind of difficult to kind of explain it, but it really is impressive. So we ended up really creating this space where it goes everywhere from individual desks to private offices such as this that are enclosed in behind a glass. So we were able to rent out the glass areas first, which is no surprise just because of the mindset of people that want their privacy. But we were able to find that if with our desks and with our limited, as an entrepreneurial, I guess one of your biggest fears when you began is, signing that lease and taking that step. Yes.
1 minute.
Oh, it's short. Okay. So, so basically, if you guys could see what it looks like, if you guys, you can go to. Okay. So on Facebook, it's Work at 1-1. You can check it out. So it really, really took off. Right now, we are almost at capacity. It's been a great environment for creators, for innovators, for all sorts of different people in different industries to really work together and push each other without having that sense of, that scary feeling of having to sign a 5-year lease and not being able to really pursue your entrepreneurial, scenario. And then after that, we shortly opened Born and Raised on the East Side, which is a restaurant bar. And it's been really, basically Work at 1-1 has been something that we've been able to really embrace and really been able to grow, not only as ourselves, but with everyone else around us. Like I said, I really wish you guys could see what these places look like, but unfortunately we didn't have the PowerPoint. But if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, we have now 15 minutes for Q&A, but let me interject. We are going to have 1-1 back with the video. Again, I apologize. We've been doing this every Wednesday since the last Wednesday in January. This is the first time that it's completely gone out on us. So I apologize, but you'll be back so we can see the video.
No worries, no worries. Yes.
So, yeah, questions?
Kiki?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say your name is? Kiki, out of curiosity, a room like this in your space, what would it cost?
Okay, I can have Valeria kind of help me out with this because she's.
Give us an idea.
A private office or a conference?
A private office and a conference.
Okay, well, private office like that would cost maybe like $1,000 a month.
Okay.
And conference would be $50 the hour.
Excellent.
Yeah, so what we do is, depending on your square footage, and so this is basically your space that you have to your private self, but we all co-work and we share, which is the common areas, which is the bar, which would be all the copy area, the conference rooms. There's lounge areas. Exactly, so this is basically your private space, so we can't really translate what it costs through square footage until you really figure it out. But it's been, basically, you have to really embrace the fact that this is your space, but you're really working commonly with the company.
Will you be giving tours of this?
Of course, like I said, we're on 500 North Oregon. Everyone's welcome to come check it out. We're on the second floor. We do have people that come through. We have a coffee. We have a cart that does vegan coffee there. So we do have people that come in and buy coffee that are not part of our membership program. But everyone's welcome to really come in and check it out.
Given the nature of the co-working, is there particular business areas that you are looking specifically for, types of businesses that would be better suited to that kind of an environment?
Yes, when we first started, we felt like we were gonna pursue the innovators, people that are starting their business. But we felt that as we kind of created this space, we have people that are in the financial advising industry. We have human resource people. We have teachers that like to go in at night and grade papers in a space like this. We have videographers, lobbyists. We have designers, graphic designers. So it really, we went from being, something that was geared towards like brand new startups to something that was more of a entrepreneurial type co-working environment that really created a space that we can all feed kind of off each other. And it was really nice to have like all sorts of different industries in our space. Yes.
So are there any unique challenges on having a co-working space and then nightlife and cars? They're different, right? So is there different type of challenges you have to overcome?
Well, for us,
Instead of being focused on one?
well, you got to remember, we created that space based on the fact that we needed an office for our team, which is in the nightlife industry or an event. So that's kind of the separation that we took based on the space itself. So we actually rent out of an office out of this space, and we're basically a tenant of our own creation. Yes.
How is charity work or giving back to the community worked into your business plan and your outlook?
It's actually worked out quite well. We've been able to create a community. I mean, just shortly we created an event where we collected crayons, and we were able to kind of push forward and collect crayons for kids in Juarez and schools that were in need. We were able to do the hurricane relief, and we collected. I mean, I can't give you facts, but we.
It's more like we allow the community, like we use someone as a drop-off site. So we also partner with, for example, the Giving Project, which they store backpacks and they store backpacks with like basic needs, and then they give it out to homeless. So we allow the community to come help, store the backpacks, donate supplies, and we do it probably like once a month.
And then we go around downtown handing them out to people in need.
I'm just wondering about that because obviously with the destruction that is going on right now, the whole issue of the importance of Dora Depot to the rest of the city has gone brought forward. In terms of that, I think of that as an example about how we as small entrepreneurs and such can bring issues out and raise awareness while at the same time, from a business standpoint, getting your name out and your brand out.
Of course, like you said, we've been able to be drop-off sites for several charities, and we try to involve ourselves with as many as possible. And there's all sorts of industries in our space that come from all different walks of life, and it really creates that like we're all working together, yet we're all really in our own industry. So it holds people accountable, even if you work by yourself. It kind of gives you that accountability of someone noticing that you're not there. So that's kind of a plus for the co-working environment. But we've been able to really try to help out with these charitable causes and become drop-off sites and get the word out as much as possible.
So any lessons learned on digital marketing?
In a sense of what?
And whatever, digital marketing, anything that you learned that you didn't know before that you can share with us?
I will say that as being in the industry that we are in, and with the capability and the times that we were faced with, me and my partner were able to, really embrace the whole social media run. Like that was something that we were able to use. Like we do hardly any, traditional marketing. We were able to build our brand with the times of now. We were able to really embrace social media, Facebook, Instagram. We felt like that was something that really helped our brand with our target market. So if you want me to talk about how exactly we were able to grow without spending money that we weren't able to achieve at that point in time, especially when we were just a hobby, that was something that really helped us push our brand. And we run our entire business, even before we had our office, all off of the internet. Based, all our meetings, our shared folders, Google shares, everything that we do is based off of the internet and social media for sure.
Like we also have different workshops like in the afternoon, once a week sometimes, and we have like painting classes, we have yoga, we have
just like today we have
today we have a sushi class. This is called Sushi University. Next week we have have different types of new things. And also we do rent the space. I wish you could see it, but if you look on Facebook, it's like really amazing. So we do rent the space for events and for meetings or anything that anybody wants to use.
It's too bad we can't see it.
I will.
They're gonna be back, folks.
Yeah. It is I apologize for the AB, but it
No worries.
is a top-notch, gorgeous space. You could see it in Boston or New York or any place. It's
Thank you.
beautiful,
What
and
is
I
it
saw
on
it
Facebook?
before it was your space.
It's work at 1-1. Everything is spelled out.
Work at 1-1.
I've been in the space myself since you've opened, and before it was open, and we used it as a temporary office a long time ago for a different project. And I'm curious about your entertainment work. And so you just were talking about your marketing and social media and digital marketing. However, traditionally, you said you don't do a lot of traditional marketing and advertising for your entertainment. But most entertainment, a big part of their marketing has always been aggressive guerrilla marketing, street marketing, and getting out and getting promotion material in people's hands in social hubs and places where people interact. Do you think that's still important?
I think it's very important, especially for the industry that we are in. When we first started, my partner and myself were actually, outside of concerts handing out flyers. We were putting stickers on, as many hands as we possibly could. And we still stick to that as we speak. Now we have a team that goes out and goes to Sun City Music Festival and stands outside and hands out flyers to the kids that are there. So guerrilla marketing has really been something that we've been able to embrace. We get just creating a brand and creating awareness without having to really kill your budget is something that we've really been able to grasp a hold of, especially with the branding and following that we have. And the kids are very, you got to put it in their face. They see it, and then they want, with the ability to really support your brand or buy a ticket online at that very moment is something that we've been really able to exceed for sure.
I want to say something. I'm an old guy. I'm Trevor Goodman, and I've been in the business world here for a while. But I've been in that space a number of times, and I will tell you, it is really nothing like it in El Paso. It is really a phenomenal space, and you can see it, just like Nancy said. You can see it anywhere in the other parts of the country, but it really is tremendous. So if nothing else, hopefully you'll all come back and you'll see the space. But go on Facebook. I don't know anything about Facebook. But if you guys go on Facebook, go to the space. They have great events. They have just what they talked about, and it's really a neat thing for El Paso because this is a progressive thinking process that these guys have come up with. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I'll add you as a friend after this.
What is the goal or the purpose for your, what's the goal you have for your company, organization?
Honestly, when we first started, it was a hobby, so we kind of just ran with what we were good at, and people just couldn't. We would feel what the city needed. We would feel what people were actually. What we felt the city needed, what we felt people wanted, and people were actually embracing what we thought was cool, what we thought was next. By taking that, entrepreneurial next step and thinking outside the box, sometimes we were wrong. Sometimes people didn't really embrace it, and sometimes they did. And most of the time, we were doing these record-type numbers in our shows and our events, and we were able to really create a platform that was much more than just promoting. So we decided to do our first brick and mortar. With that came the fact that we needed an office, which turned into a co-working space, which is now, we just opened up our new restaurant bar on the east side. So really what I feel like the direction that we're moving in is becoming a hospitality group to whatever is needed and we feel is needed next, in that industry. Okay, go ahead.
What's the fee for your workshops?
Excuse me?
Is there a fee for your workshops?
It just depends on the event. Like tonight we have a sushi, we have the chef from Dragonfly coming in and giving a sushi class. So we do have a fee based on, Valeria can really explain this a little bit better because she's the one that actually runs these events.
For example, tonight with the sushi class, everything's going to be included, including the sushi and everything. So you're going to roll I think it's 5 rolls, and we need to teach you everything, and it's $45 per person.
You said 45?
How long does it last? 2 hours.
So I went to the last one and I thought it was going to be like you make 1 roll, 2 rolls. No, it's a 6 roll. You're making 6 rolls. By the end of the time, you're just giving away all your rolls because you can't even eat them anymore. But it's basically the cost of what we can do.
So for example, next week we have the MIT Festival, and I believe that's $25. And again,
It just depends on the event. You know, when we do a yoga class, obviously the fees are a little bit more to it. Now that we do the sushi class with the HTML coding, it just depends on the actual event and what it costs for the instructor or whoever's having it come in and teach it to cover those costs. Yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit about the name?
Okay. 1-1. Okay, so when we first started, we were going after that very that breakout, like trying to like create target people who are starting startups. So our name was going to be very startup-y, you know, it was going to be very incubator-ish. But when we sat down, we didn't really want to eliminate anybody that's already in the industry that just needs a space and wants to be part of our co-working environment. So we decided to go with the name 1-1. Why 1-1? It's a play off of January 1st, which is 1-1, and it kind of gives you that feeling of when you wake up on January 1st and you say, this is my year, this is the year I'm going to do stuff, I'm going to make things happen this day. So it's basically waking up every day, showing up to work like it's your first day, and it kind of embraces that whole thing. So.
Also, right now, I tried looking on Facebook for Work at 1-1, and I think it's better if you put how it's like the name on the profile pic. It's 1:1.
Or the other way to do it, because I found it, is just put it all together, work at 1-1 with no spaces.
And I was doing number one. I'm like,
Work. We have time for one more question.
How have you what kind of legal stuff have you looked at or encountered with coming up with your brand and name? How have you protected it?
As we've grown, you know, we started off as promoters to the bar industry to now the co-working space. We've been able to, unfortunately, with that business, it does, legal issues do come about. You just try to protect yourself as much as possible, and you try to, stay within obviously the laws and regulations of what you can do, and you'll be fine. But we've definitely had to encompass some speed bumps here and there, but. And I think it's just the law of the nature of what goes on when you're dealing with this many people and being innovative and trying to create new spaces and coming into areas that haven't been embraced before as well.
Any copyright issues?
Not really, honestly. We've had people on our new space. We had some kind of issue with the name, but it had nothing to do with anything in town, it's just there's always something going on, and I feel like it's as long as you do your due diligence and really protect yourself, you can always overcome these issues.
We have one more question because he asked very nicely.
You guys give any workshops on entrepreneurship?
We haven't yet. We haven't yet, right?
Not yet, but we are gonna start having them. I think it's gonna be each Thursday, but we're still working on them right now.
Yeah, we've had speakers come in and give speeches such as this at our space, whether it be entrepreneurs or designers or people doing. We had the guy from Neon Desert that started the company come out and give a talk about how he did it as well. So it's really we try to do that kind of stuff as well, where we have entrepreneurs or designers or anybody that can kind of give that like entrepreneurship back to the room as well.
Okay, great, thank you. Last question. What can we as a community do to help 1-1?
Come check it out. Come see what we're all about. I would really like for you guys to really see what I'm talking about and give us some feedback on what you guys. Spread the word and let us know how we can make our co-working space a little bit better.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then now we need to take a picture, please. Okay. Don't trip. We are setting up the laptop over here so that you all can see the beautiful space. And again, they are coming back. I think somebody said that. All right, great. Thank you, guys. And listen, I'm going to talk a little, again, one of the things I learned in Kansas City, some of us knew it, co-working is a really big trend and is a big part of building an innovation ecosystem in any community. I was talking to the gentleman, one of the organizers from Charlotte, North Carolina. There's 7 co-working spaces just in downtown Charlotte. And I said, wow, that seems like, that's cool. Obviously, you're building the community. He goes, yeah, they all have niches. So there's one, for instance, some ideas. There's one that's pet friendly. So it's, and again, you can look it up, downtown Charlotte. One that's a women's only co-working space. I forget what the other ones, but like 4 or 5 out of the 7 had a very distinct niche or a theme. So cool. There's a couple of other co-working spaces along with one that have opened up now. So it's a great thing for the community. And they were very involved with the 1 Million Cup. So now we have some time for some community announcements. Does anybody out in the audience have an announcement? And that would include things like a company we're raising money, or we raised some money, or we're hiring, or we're looking for this kind of service, that kind of service, kind of quickly. But we have somebody in the back.
Yes, good morning. Lorena Fargalo from Customer Agency Network, and I have 2 networking events, a successful one in the morning called Breakfast with Friends at 9077 Gateway Boulevard West. We have entrepreneurial mindset with Homero Galicia as our guest speaker. I welcome you from 8:30 to 10 tomorrow morning. And we also, for those of you who are not morning people, we have cocktails with friends once a month. We meet at the Alamo this Thursday at 5 o'clock. And that's also a great event to meet all kinds of people. Thank you.
Okay, yes.
I'm a member of ALPHA, Association for Latino Professionals of America, and we're having an event on September the 28th at the Desert Tree Pier Hotel at 1131, and it's Adelante El Paso is the name of the session. And we're going to have a panel of speakers speaking about why El Paso and what's going forward with El Paso. So if you have any questions, please see me.
Good morning, my name is Fernando Espinosa. We're going to have an event on the 27th of September on how to create your elevator pitch. And it's going to be 2 hours and a half. It's going to cost $47. And I'm going to give you my book and a $100 value gift from 10 to 12:30.
And he is a past presenter here. So is Cynthia.
We have my real estate group, ARA, is promoting the 4th annual MDA Golf Classic at Butterfield Trails on Monday, the 25th. Mainly what we're looking for right now is actually donations to kind of have an auction, raise more money for the MDA. But I think there might still be some spaces if somebody wants to play around. Anyway, we've got these little cards. I have them here at the front if anyone wants more information. And also on the back of these cards, you can get a free coffee and donut from Hillside if you're so inclined. But anyway, that's just and there you go.
Awesome. Anybody else? Anyone? Oh, we have several. Awesome. Yes. If you're close by, you can come up and grab the mic or just speak loudly.
I speak loud. That's fine. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosalind Thornton, and we have a meeting tomorrow for the East Side Business Alliance. It's the second Thursday of every month, once a month, from 7:30 until 9 a.m. And we do have Commissioner Carlos Leon speaking, and then another person, and I forget his name right now, I'm so sorry, speaking on grants for small businesses to help you train your employees. Thank you.
Any soccer fans in the room or have kids who are soccer fans, this Sunday at 6 p.m., this Saturday. This Sunday at 6 p.m. at the Coliseum, indoor soccer, the USA versus Mexico. This Sunday at 6 p.m. at the County Coliseum, indoor soccer. It's extremely fast, very exciting. It's USA versus Mexico. It's going to be a great turnout.
That's cool.
This weekend.
Okay, any others? Okay, great. First, some parking announcements. If you did park in either of the parking lots on the Durango side, you need to move. You will be towed. And I apologize. I should have said that at the beginning. So if you're in a parking lot on the Durango side, you're going to get towed. It slipped my mind because of all the technical difficulties and whatnot. If you parked in front of the building on the angled parking, number one, you need to be backed in. The city will come by and give you a little greeting card. And if you're on the side closest to the Paisano curve, that does not have a limit, but about the other half close to Durango, you only have an hour. So if you're there, you may want to pay attention to that. Not sure about the handicap. I don't know how they treat that. Also, Please do sign in as you're coming in. Very, very important. If you did not sign in, please help us out and sign in on the way out. We need to report that back to Coffin. We need to report that back to our sponsors, to our supporters, that we're having an impact, that all you folks are coming out here. So please do sign in on the way out if you did not do so. Now, some other community announcements. There will be model contractor training. Are you interested in working with the UT system? If so, there's a series of workshops. There was actually one yesterday, but today, Wednesday, September 13th, project administration. There's another one Tuesday, September 19th on safety training, and one on Wednesday, the 20th, managing your cash flow. These are going to be at 2401 East Missouri. That's the Hispanic Chamber from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Next, the Women's Fund of El Paso is having the Power of the Purse. That's tomorrow, Thursday, September 14th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Epic Rail Yard Center, 2201 East Mills. There is a $50 donation, but along with the admins to the event, you get a chance to win a luxury designer purse. I'm excited about that. We Mean Business, a conference for aspiring and successful female entrepreneurs, is being put on by the Arrowhead Center of the New Mexico State University, and that's September 29th, 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the New Mexico Farm and Ranch Heritage Museum in Las Cruces. That's a great facility. You should go out there and visit. Next, the Intelligent Office and Wells Fargo invites you to discover financial services for your business. That is going to be on October 5th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. at the Intelligent Office Complex, 7362 Remcon Circle, El Paso, Texas. That's on the west side because they have two locations. Sorry, the microphone makes it hard. Next, the City of El Paso has their 2017 Cooperative Purchasing Expo, the 29th of November. It'll be at the Convention Center downtown from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And they have a bunch of different sessions, and they have varying costs. So if you're interested in any of these events, please see one of us, the organizers, afterwards. We already did the Breakfast with Friends. And lastly, please do sign up for the Downtown Insider newsletter to be the first to know about all the events, news, and networking for downtown. Again, that's downtownelpaso.com. And lastly, we get to give away some swag. So let me take a drawing here. Sorry, it doesn't reach. That's why you should all put your business cards in. Let's see here. Jimmy Cabral. Jimmy, you have a choice of a travel log, a notebook, or one of these shirts. We have all this stuff. What would you like? All right, awesome. And we're a little short on time, so we can do one more. Veronica Lascure, Living Colors. She had to ask her friend if that would really hurt. Okay, thank you. All right, with that, we'll bring up our next presenter, New York Live.
Thank you, everybody. I work for New York Life, as you heard. It's a Fortune 100 company, the 65th largest company in the U.S. There's also a lot of red tape with that. So I started handing out a sheet in the back for a sign-in list. I have to keep a record of who attended any briefings or presentations I give. To give you a little bit of background on myself, I spent 20 years in the Army, retired last year, but during that time I did a lot of investing on my own. I won't get into details, but also got me the Money Magazine twice, the Army Times, if you're familiar with that. Pretty much on how I did successfully financially investing. But because of what I work for in New York Life, a lot of what I did in the past does not reflect how I may. That advice I cannot give you specifically. So I'm not here to offer you any financial advice on stocks, investments. Really what I do, I sit down with you or someone you know or your family, talk to you about how to improve your financial life as it is from where you want to go. In addition, I'm not here to offer any legal advice or tax advice. I do have a board of directors. I can refer you to somebody if you need somebody to talk to specifically in those areas. And even without the slides, I need to follow my script because it's proof in my company. As I mentioned, there's a lot of red tape. All right, but pretty much, you got to look at yourself as a blueprint for your finances. whether you have a company, I know there's a lot of business owners here, or wannabe business owners, it's the same thing as looking at yourself. A lot of things relate, very similar. So pretty much you're looking at your cash flow, your net worth, risk management, college planning if you have children or even grandchildren, and also wealth accumulation. Pretty much how you determine your cash flow, you're looking at, say, for instance, you have your household income minus your household expenses, and then that equals your cash flow. From that, there's the same in the business as well. You can use the same thing relating to that. You have your income and expenses, and you're getting your cash flow. Same thing in your own personal life. You got to figure out the two because they're all very similar. Let me back up a little bit. Growing up, my mom's owned a couple businesses when I was younger. So she's worked 60 to 80 hours a week because that's what a business owner does. You're working a lot of hours. You're not working your normal 9 to 5. You're working more than 40 hours usually. But as a kid growing up, seeing that, I got to experience part of it because I went along with my mom on a couple occasions. But now the one thing most business owners don't think about is planning for their future. You got to think about your retirement because it's going to come sooner rather than later. Hopefully you're not like my mom. No offense to her, but you've got to plan for your future because right now I pretty much support her. I pay for her rent. I pay for her car insurance. I pay for her telephone bill. And sometimes I provide her groceries as well. I moved her down here about 2 years ago. So if you don't want your kids doing that for you, if you want to be independent, truly independent, take more control over your future finances.
Tom, do you want to adopt me? Or I can be your stepdad? You're extremely generous.
Let me ask my wife about that one. Same thing if you determine your net worth. Your net worth is you're taking your assets minus your liabilities, and that equals your net worth. If you're not familiar with assets are pretty much things that you own in terms that has value in it, such as your house, your car, what you own financially in terms of investments, savings. From that, you subtract that for the liabilities. You're subtracting whatever you still owe on your house, whatever you still owe on your car, any credit card bills, any other loans, debt you might have, and from all that, you get your net worth. You don't hear a lot of people talking about net worth, but net worth is it really helps a lot. I know I don't mean to pick on the younger generation, but the younger generation, they need to take that in consideration. It's in terms of getting a credit card, using it responsibly. I know a lot of people don't use it because a lot of bad stories they might have heard. They're kind of afraid to even touch a credit card or even use a credit card. But if you have a goal not to carry a big amount of debt, you will do well with the credit card. As long as you have an idea when you can pay it off within a month or two, you will be successful that way. And then risk management. But let me get on going into that, you have your emergency fund. A lot of people may have heard about emergency fund, but you don't really think you're going to need it. You may just look at your salary, what you're making, you're going to do well. But emergencies happen to everybody. You may have a family member who's not in the area. You may have to go see them. Your car may break down. So you got to have some money set aside just for those cases because a lot of people, you don't plan for having to get new tires every month or getting something fixed in your car or flying out, at the last minute to see your family member who's in another state. And, airline tickets at the last minute cost a lot. So you got to plan for those occasions. So I recommend putting away a little bit a month because over time you'll have that cushion there in case you need to use that emergency fund for something. Briefly touch on life insurance. My company, they offer 2 different products that I pretty much specialize in. Pretty much there's term and there's whole life. Term insurance is pretty cheap. It's like renting a house. You're not really going to pay much for it, but you're still covered by something. And then on the other hand, there's whole life. Whole life is a little bit more expensive, and you're going to pay a little bit more for that, but it's also like owning a house. So it all depends on what you can afford. What I do is sit down with you and see what the best option is for you. And also, term life is temporary. It does not last you forever. I already touched on retirement planning. If you had the slide, you see my office, my email address, and everything, but I am very big on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. It's just Tom Handy, the number 1. So it's pretty easy to remember. I know there's a lot of Thomas Handys out there in the world, but I wanted to put number 1 next to my name because that way, easy to remember, makes you stand out as well. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. It's just Thomas Handy probably look under El Paso, and you can find me as well. I took a big push into using marketing because, like I said, I only got in the Army about a year ago. I did a big push on social media, and I've been to events now where I see people, hey, I've seen you before, because people I've met, they might have seen a picture of me or something, or they connected with me somehow. So I guess I'll now open up to any questions. I don't bite, so just any question you may have. Yes, Art.
All right, so does medical expenses factor into, setting up and having I forgot the name of the account, the medical expense account, to replace insurance, to use it as insurance.
I would say yes, because it's always good to, depending on your health or age, the older you get, the more likely you'll need some medical assistance.
What's been the biggest challenge in terms of transitioning to basically being self-employed? You're an independent agent, correct?
Yes.
So you're basically self-employed?
Yes.
So what's been the biggest challenge, the biggest surprise in making that transition?
I did a lot of, before I started working at New York Life, I did a lot of online marketing the last couple of years, direct sales. So I got a little taste of it. I got to see what failure is like, because a lot of people are not going to say yes on the first time you talk to them. The big thing is just repetition, follow up, keeping your list going. Because over time, they might not say yes today, but 12 months down the road, they may say yes. At least sitting down talking to you, or even signing up for what you may offer. A lot of times I meet people, we just sit down and talk. I probably have a close ratio of about 60%. So we just sit and talk. We see where you are, see how I can help you. A lot of times, a lot of people may be good. A lot of people may not be at the right time. Especially as a small business owner, the last thing you're thinking about is dying. But it's always good to have, because I've seen a lot of people here, either El Paso and across the U.S., use a GoFundMe account or do these enchiladas dinners. Those are some things here they replace for a funeral cost, because the funeral cost is probably about $10,000 to $12,000. Unless you get cremated, it might be a little bit less, but it's always good to have some money set aside and not to use a GoFundMe as a backup to relying on your family to cover for you if you don't take responsibility for yourself.
Being a veteran yourself, what kind of outreach and such have you been able to, or with your interactions with veterans and being in the shadow of workplace, how has that affected the business, and how have you been able to help those, especially the young veterans who are transitioning out of the Army into?
Probably more than half of my clients have been veterans or people still in the military. For the younger veterans, it's just like the younger people in general, because they're harder to talk to. They don't see that they need it. I have probably very few younger people as clients of mine, because I don't, like I mentioned, they are harder to talk to. They don't think they're gonna need it. They don't think they're gonna die. They don't see the purpose of it. But you can relate it to a starting business owner. A starting business owner doesn't think they're going to need it, but they're trying to worry about how to sell the product, try to get things across. So that's what they're looking at. That's what they're focusing on. They may be interested, but they'll always say, not at this moment, not at this time. So, yes?
Curious, because selling these type of products, sometimes there's some very specific hurdles I would imagine you have to overcome emotionally with a potential new customer. And what do you think the biggest issue is that you have to overcome when you're approaching a new customer, trying to sell the products that you sell, and how do you overcome them?
I don't know everything, but I have, my company has a good base of people I can, almost like a phone a friend, pretty much. That's what I do sometimes. A lot of people there have been there, working there for 30 years. People who have made the top rankings within the company. They've done very well within the industry itself, so that's what sometimes I'll do, because I don't know every answer. I'm not going to sit and lie to somebody. I'm going to tell you I don't know, but let me get back to you on that one. And I will go respond back to them within a day or two and let them know what I found out.
Non-profits, what kind of services or products does your company that you're selling for, what kind of basic things do they offer?
Every once in a while, we they encourage us. First, they encourage us to work with a nonprofit. If we're working with a nonprofit over so many hours within a year, the company will give you up to a $10,000 bonus. You can write a check. You'll be able to give that to the company, but you got to be able to log all of that. What happened over in Houston? The company has donated $250,000 to what's going on in Houston, and for this month, for every agent who provides a donation, the company will match that on top of that. So it's like a 1-for-1 on top of what the company is donating. Yes?
So kind of like real estate, everybody knows multiple life insurance agents, everybody knows multiple realtors. And even within your own company, there's a lot of New York life agents in town. What's the biggest challenge you've seen in trying to differentiate yourself within your own company as well as against all of the other insurance agents in your area?
That's a good point. Everywhere you can probably throw a brick and hit an insurance agent here in El Paso. What I personally do, I really try to go out a lot of networking events. Just this past year, I probably put on over 20,000 miles just here in El Paso for the most part, because I do a lot of driving across town, meeting people, going to different networking events. And it's really working, especially with a business owner, you've really got to earn their trust, build a relationship with them. It takes time. A lot of business owners will just look at you like another salesman, and I really try not to sell something to them I try not to, like, it's almost like kissing on the first date. I try not to do that. But it's pretty much. Yes.
Going along those lines about trying to differentiate yourself, how do you as an independent agent, along with the company, show your personal branding as your agent with your values and systems and how that aligns with the company itself to show to your clients besides just networking? How do you do that besides just being friendly? What do you do that in your personal branding strategies to get those clients to differentiate yourself?
It is very hard. As I mentioned, New York Life has a lot of red tape, and that's one issue I've had to come across. But I have paid for articles within the Women's Journal through Angie Rodriguez. Just to do that article, I had to get approved through my company. And so it was like a lot of back and forth. You know, they wanted this sentence crossed out, these words added. So I had to go. That's one thing I've had to work with, because that was like a crushing blow when I was reading about that. And they said, you can't just send something out you want to. They said, we got to prove everything you want to do.
So how do you find your way of being able to put your values and your brands and differentiate you within the company? When you're talking with somebody or presenting them on or anything like that, how do you go about your personal branding within that red tape?
I think personally, I try not to. I think a lot of business owners or a lot of people in the financial services, they don't have a lot of experience, background in businesses, investments. I have 20 years of investing myself. I've had a couple of businesses, as I mentioned, direct online marketing. So that gave me a little taste, and then so now, if I don't know everything, I can refer them back to somebody, but I can give them some basic guidance to help them get along the way, because starting a business is tough. It's not easy. It's a lot of hurdles they got to get through, a lot of things they may not know about. I try to say, I might ask them a question about, hey, how are you doing on this, or have you incorporated yourself, and so on, and then I would just refer them to somebody I know. A lot of times I refer them to people I know. As I mentioned, I do network a lot. I do know a lot of people. I refer people I know to business owners I come across. So.
Okay, the last question always, what can we as a community do to help you?
Big thing is probably just the sign-in sheets coming around. If you want to sit and talk, we'll sit and talk. I'm not going to sell you anything. We'll just see where you are, where you want to go. I'll try to help you out. Second is connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Just look me up and just, you will see the other side you don't see of me just standing up here. Last year I became the actual Yelp King of El Paso, the #1 Yelper all in El Paso. And I just started that sometime last year. I went to the award ceremony and they said, hey, you're the top Yelper in El Paso. So if you see my Facebook page, you'll see I have a lot of food postings of where I've gone to. So.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, great. Thank you all. A few final announcements. Again, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Please do tell your friends. Come back and see us. Apply to present. I see some of you out there. You know who you are if you haven't presented yet. And actually, if you could help us out, for instance, if anybody knows of a successful local blogger, we would love to have somebody or a couple of folks like that. If anybody knows of a really or a successful specialty retail, we'd love to get some stuff like that. We're looking at some themes. Some of the other communities do themes for the weeks or for the month, so we're open to stuff like that. We're open to everybody. Please come back and visit us. Tell your friends. Come see us. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
1 Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation.
Over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.